my favorite days. I don't know why. I love solving systems with three equations. I love it. So I am excited that you're here to learn from me. My name is Mr. Kraus. But I can't help but write Mr. Key. Oh yeah, where's the coffee? I know you're wondering. Oh my gosh, there it is. I'm almost out. It's like cold now. Whatever, man. It's still delicious. I meant it was delicious. Did I look like I didn't like that? That was really delicious. Sorry, Dunkin' Donuts. Bad commercial. Oh, strike that one. We'll do another one next time. All right, so this is Unit 1.1, 2020, the year of the crazy mask. I should wear a mask and do a video. That would be awful. Okay, we're going to solve system of three equations. But if you remember a couple days ago or yesterday or whatever it was, we solved a system of two equations. So I'm just going to remind you how to do that, and then we're going to move on. All right, so it looks to me, if I look at the x's and the y's, it looks like the x's are going to be easier to get rid of because all I got to do is multiply that second equation by maybe like 3, and I think I can get rid of them. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to multiply this equation by 3. So the first equation is not going to change. 9x minus 2y equals 7. And then negative 9x plus 3y equals negative 9. Remember, you got to multiply everything through by the negative or by the 3. These go, and I get y equals negative 2. And that might be, that looks like it's probably the answer. Okay, now we need to find x. And I like that. It looks like this one might be easier to work with, so we're going to do negative 3x plus y equals negative 3. I don't know if this is going to be easier to work with or not. Negative 3x minus 2, because that's what y is, equals negative 3. I'm going to add the 2 over. I normally don't show that work. I don't know why I just did. Negative 3x, that should be an x, equals negative 1. Divide by 3, or divide by negative 3. And a negative 1 divided by negative 3 is positive 1/3. So it looks like the answer is positive 1/3, comma, negative 2. And that's weird. I got negative 1/3, and oh, yeah. Oh, my answer key's wrong. Jeez. I did 2 negatives and it made a negative. That's embarrassing. All right, let's see what here. Looks like the ends are easy to get rid of. Actually, it really makes no difference, but I'm going to multiply this one by 2 because that'll get rid of the ends. You could have multiplied the first equation by 3 and done the same exact thing. So we're going to do 5m. That probably would have been actually easier, but it doesn't matter. They're both relatively easy. They're negative 30m minus 4n equals negative 6. This is negative 25m equals negative 10. Divide by negative 25, I get negative 10 over negative 25, which is 2/5. Oh, crap. What is that all about? Who likes fractions? Nobody likes fractions. All right, let's take the more positive equation. That's this one. So 5m plus 4n equals negative 4. We'll grab a different color. We've figured out what m is. That goes in for m. So 5, oh, this isn't going to be too bad. 5 times 2/5 plus 4n equals negative 4. 5 times 2/5 is just 2 because the 5's cancel. And I get this. Now I'm going to subtract. How is that even possible? I got the wrong answer again. I got to fix that. That's crazy. We're going to subtract 2. Subtract 2. I get 4n equals negative 6. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. Like, my work is correct, but when I wrote down the answer on my answer key, I mean, look at this. No, never mind. Don't bother. So n is equal to negative 3/2. So my answer is 2/5, comma, negative 3/2. All right. Let's keep moving. Oh, man. This one's a cray-cray question. This is like a challenge question. Like, if you don't do this one, that's not a big deal. It's not going to be a crazy deal. But it is a crazy question. So if you read through it, it says, oops, sorry. If you read through it, it says we've got, they say an 18-karat gold bracelet has 75% gold and 25% another metal. So let's say I have this big chunk of metal like this. Let's say it was 100 grams, just for fun. Well, what I would know then is 75% of this is gold, and then this is just crap. Whatever it is just crap. So that means I'd have 75 grams of gold. So here's what we got. He has a large supply of gold that's 95% pure, and he has a large supply of gold that's 45% pure. So he's got this really good gold, and he's got this other gold. He wants to mix it so that the percentage is 75%. So what we're going to do is we're going to say let C equal crap gold, and G equals gold, the really good stuff. So if I take the crap gold and I add in the good gold, I want this thing to be 150 grams. So I want to take the crap gold and I want to add in the good gold, and I want it to be equal to 150 grams. That's the easy equation. The second equation is really quite difficult, So what I want to do is, I know that 45% of this, so really what I want to deal with is just gold. I'm just going to deal with the idea of gold. So I know in this crap gold, 45% of it is gold. So 45% of the crap is gold, plus 95% of this G, of the gold stuff, the really goldy stuff, 95% of that is gold. Now, when I'm done, now remember, this 150 grams, that represents the crap and the gold. But this is just a gold equation. This is just a strictly gold equation. So, and I know that what I want to end up with is 75% of this to be gold. So 0.75 times 150. And that, my friends, was the tricky equation to come up with. All right. So I still have to do the exact same work. So I'm going to multiply this one by negative 0.45. Well, let's multiply by negative 0.95 just to stay consistent with my work here. Oops, I thought I changed pens. We're going to multiply by negative 0.95. So I'm going to bring it down here so it's not behind my head. So negative 0.95 crap minus 0.95 gold equals, now I got to grab my calculator and do 150. Oops. Crap. 150 times 0.95, it's negative 0.95, so it's negative 142.50. Now the second equation I'm just going to copy down, 0.45, boy, it would have been easier just to multiply by the 45, plus 0.95 gold equals, and I want to figure out what this is, so 0.75 times 150 is 112.50. If I do this math, let's see what I come up with. These cancel, so this is negative 0.50 crap equals negative 30. Divide by negative 0.50, and I get crap equals 60. Well, I just go back to this original equation. If crap equals 60, that means gold has to be equal to 90. And since this is a word problem, you really should write a little response that says you need to use 60 grams of crap and 90 grams of good stuff to equal a mixture that's 75% actual gold. All right, that's that. That's a tough one. All right, let's deal with the really cool stuff. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to deal with a system of 3 equations and 3 unknowns. Now, I'm not sure if by now I've taught you, I think I have, how to use your calculator on these. And I'm going to just remind you of, and if I haven't taught you or if you haven't learned this yet, I'm going to show you anyway. So let's see. Let's get out of this. Hold on just a second. I got to stop for just a second. I'll be right back. All right, let's get that calculator. Oh, crap. Let's get that calculator back up. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do with here in this calculator, we're going to hit, we're going to go into calculator mode, and then we're going to go Menu, Algebra, We're going to solve a system of equations, and they solve a system of linear equations. Just pick that one. In this case, we have 3 equations. Press tab. Now, it automatically picks that x, y, z, and because that's what letters we're using, I'm going to stick with x, y, z. Click OK, and we're going to do 3x minus 2y. Oh, I'm in caps lock. Plus z equals 2, 5x minus y. Now, your teacher's never going to have these things come out to be something like negative 256 over 8 or whatever dumb. Well, actually, it would turn out to be a nice number. But make sure your answers don't turn out when you do this crazy. And I always get kids that argue, oh my God, I put it in there exactly right, exactly the way it is, and why do I end up with 13/18? It's not right. I know it's 13. Let's go back and look. You probably made a mistake. One sign mistake typing these things in, and you're going to end up with all kinds of crazy answers. So just be careful. Now, if I didn't type this in correctly, I'm going to get crazy answers. If I typed it in correctly, I probably get pretty good answers. So notice how here they're x, y, z. Here it's x, y, z. And here it's going to be x, y, z. So if I come over here, I know that x equals y equals and z equals. Let me get those. 3, 2, negative 3. 3, 2, negative 3. Now what I have here is the answers. You have no credit. You just have the answers. So when you're done with this work, you're going to be all excited because you have the right answers. Now here's how it works. You need to get rid of one letter, and you got to stay with that one letter you want to get rid of. And I'm going to argue I think the easiest letter to get rid of is probably z. In this case, it's z. So I'm going to take just 2 equations, and I'm going to go get rid of z. So I'm going to write these over here, 3x minus 2y plus z equals 2. And I can just get rid of these. The reason I picked this one is because it's really easy right away to get rid of one of the letters. Why? Because these are already opposites. So all I have to do is add them. So when I add these, I get 8x minus 3y equals 18. So now I've created a new equation by putting 2 of them together. I'm going to do that one more time, but now I'm going to put these 2 together. And I also have to get rid of z. You have to get rid of the same letter. And in order to do so, I'm going to multiply this second equation by 2, because that will give me negative 2z, which will cancel with this. So the whole thing gets multiplied. So 10x minus 2y minus 2z equals 32. Everything gets multiplied. And then the second equation just copy down. And we add. So I get 11x minus 5y. These go equals, what is that, 14? So now I've got 2 new equations. Now I want to get rid of, well, I started with an ugly one. Oh, that's why it's not. Okay, sorry, kids. I multiplied this by 2. I knew something was off. I'm glad I checked that because that would have been awful. When you make one mistake in these things, man, and you carry it through, it's really awful. This should just be 23, but that's still not going to help me out very much. But that's okay. So what I want to do is I want to put these 2 together. I just want to make sure I have the right equation. Okay, I want to put these 2 together, and I want to get rid of one of the letters. So I'm thinking I'm going to deal with the y's. They look a little bit easier to work with. And I need to make those a pair of opposites. So I'm going to take this one over here, and I'm going to multiply this one by 5. So that gives me 40x minus 15y. You'll see why in a minute, equals 90. Now I need this to be negative. I need this one to be positive 15y, because then it will get rid of the y's. So if I need this to be positive 15y, I got to multiply by negative 3. So that gives me negative 33x. I know this is all like you're changing all these numbers, and then poof, you get this. It's weird. I get it. And then, so this is going to be positive 15y. And then equals, and then these multiplied together give me negative 69. So this is 7x, these go, equals 21. And divide by 7, I get x equals 3. Now, once you get your first one and it matches, you're like 99% of the way done with the problem. Okay, now what we're going to do is work our way backwards. I always try to grab the easier equation. This one looks a little bit easier. You either grab that one or this one. It doesn't matter. So 8x minus 3y equals 18. You're going to plug this in. So 8 times 3 minus 3y equals 18. And this is 24 minus 3y equals 18. Subtract the 24. So I get negative 3y equals negative 6. Divide by negative 3 and I get y equals 2. Come back up here and check it. Woohoo! All right, so now that you've found 2, now we need to go back and find the most easiest equation to find z. And you see how this has a positive z in it? I'm just going to use this one because I think that's going to be the easiest to use. 3x minus 2y. Don't know where my mouse is, though. 3x minus 2y. I'm over here. Plus z equals 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in for x, this in for y, and figure out what z is. Ooh, my wife. I don't know if you can hear that, but my wife's making fresh Dunkin' Donuts coffee. About to go have me some breakfast. All right, so this is 9 minus 6 plus z equals 2. This is 3 plus z equals 2. I feel like I made a mistake. Subtract 3, I get z equals negative 1, but I don't believe that's the right answer. Was that the right answer? No, I got negative 3. So now I know. Let me go over to my calculator. Now I know I've made a mistake somewhere. So now I got to figure out where my mistake is. Where is my mistake? Where did you guys see it? It's so dumb. But this is the nice idea. I did not do this on purpose, by the way, but this is great. So this is why you want to really check your... This is why you want to start with the answers, because if you make a dumb mistake like I just made, and you probably saw me do it, and you're probably like, what's he doing? He made a dumb mistake, but that's okay. It happens. It happens. You see when I plugged this 2 in, what did I plug in here? I plugged in a 3. That's just dumb. So I should have plugged in a 2, subtract 4, and I would get 5. So now when I subtract 5 over, I get negative 3. And I come up here and I go, woohoo! Cha-ching, man. Okay, that was a dumb mistake. But that happens. It really does happen, so you got to be careful. Okay, I'll be back to do the rest of these. How many there are there? I actually got to go help my old man for a few minutes. I don't even know what happened to problems. Oh, there's how you use the calculators. We'll do that first. And then I got a couple more to do with you. Got 2 more to do with you, and then that's it. But I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Had to go do some work. All right, so yeah, this is one of those ones where I forgot that the directions were after that first one. So if you have the graphing calculator, TI Inspire, this is exactly what you're going to do. So you have now the directions, so you didn't have to worry about how that worked, but you have the directions on how to do this. And again, our advice to you is always find the answers first, right? So because if you don't get that first answer right, you know, you're going to have a lot of problems. So that's what we're going to do here. And this is a kind of a weird one because we have this, and we're going to talk about that equation in a second. So let's go get our calculator available. Let me just start all over. And let me see if I can bring these up here like this. Put the calculator there. Perfect. All right, so we're going to calculator mode. Remember, it's menu, algebra, solve a system of equations, and then solve a system of linear equations. Now, it might be slightly different depending on which model calculator you have on or what directions I gave you, but it's all pretty much the same. You're looking for this. We got 3 equations. Now, notice this one says X, Y, Z, but my letters are A, B, C. So I think in order to kind of stay consistent, we'll just do A, comma, B, comma, C. And if you're wondering where the comma is, it's right down here. right down here at the bottom. I don't know how, oops, I don't know how I can highlight it. It's right here, down here at the bottom, next to the O and below the pi button. So we'll click OK. And we'll do these very quickly. A minus 4B plus 3C equals 9. And then B plus C. So B plus C equals 2. And you know what? I'm going to make a mistake on this one. 3A. Sometimes when I make a mistake, it turns out okay. But most of the time when you make a mistake, all heck break loose and you get some really obnoxious answers. I'm hoping that's what's happened right now. So I hope you see where I made my mistake. If you didn't, pay attention better. All right, you see these answers? So these answers are so dumb, no math teacher would ever get these. Now, don't call your math teacher over by putting your hand up and go, but I typed them in right. No, you didn't. You made a mistake somewhere. So obviously, if you were paying attention, it's right here on this last thing. It's just this plus. And then you get nice numbers like that. Now remember, however you put the letters in, A, B, C, that's how they're going to be here, A, B, C. So A is negative 4. Oops, got to get a new pen. So let's go with A is negative 4. And then we got B equals and then C equals. C, negative 1 and 3. Okay, so I said we're going to talk about this one. You'll notice that A is already missing. And that's okay, A is missing, but now that forces your hand. Now we have to put these two together, and we have to get rid of A. You don't have a choice. You have to get rid of A. So normally you want to look to see which one's easiest to get rid of. In this case, we're forced our hand. And that's okay. We're going to just multiply this first equation by negative 3. Now, if you'll notice, that will give me a negative 3A here. And I already have a positive 3A here. And when I put those two together, I get nothing. So, negative 3A, careful, positive 4B. You got to really careful with signs when you're working in algebra or algebra 2. We got all kinds of problems. Minus 9C, minus 27. So I just took that number and multiplied by all three of these. Okay? And when you multiply through by a negative, just remember the signs change. All right, we got 3A minus 2B, or not to be. Yes, that's the question. Plus 6C equals 8. All right, now the beauty is these go. So I end up with 2B, or not to be. Minus 3C, be careful with signs. You know, you got to be real careful adding things up. Equals, what is this, negative 19? Now, we got this one right here. Now, I'll put it here, but we got a problem. B plus C equals 2, correct? I can't get rid of anything. So what I think what we'll do is multiply this by 3, positive 3. I could multiply through by negative 2. That would get rid of the B's. But I would prefer to multiply through by a positive 3, because if this was a positive 3 right here, these would go. Right? So we're gonna take care of that right now. And we're going to multiply that equation by positive 3. So 3B plus 3C equals 6. This is 5B. And negative 19 Negative 19 plus 6 is, yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem because this is negative 13. So, even the teacher makes mistakes. Now, this is problem number 2 that I made a dumb mistake on there. Always dumb mistakes. You just got to be careful. Now, let's see if we can find them. Again, I did not do this on purpose. So I want you to know that these are questions that they're algebraically not difficult, but you got to maintain and be careful. So let's see where I made my dumb mistake. Because clearly I made a dumb mistake somewhere. So these go minus 2B there it is right there. Negative 3 times negative 4. I was so hyped about getting the sign right, I actually forgot to multiply the two numbers together. Ah, So embarrassing. All right, so this should be positive 12b. So this is positive 12b. Nope. So positive 12 minus 2 is 10b. 10b. Perfect. All right, and then 10b plus 3b is 13b. And we divide by 13, and we divide by 13, and we get b equals negative 1. So the beauty is I found my mistake without having to go further. It's, again, sometimes those work out really, really nice, and you'll end up with like an answer like 5. And you're like, oh, okay, that sounds right. But if you didn't have the answers ahead of time, you wouldn't even know if that's correct. So again, I apologize. That's my mistake. Now, the beauty is I got this nice little equation to put it into. So b plus c equals 2. Negative 1 plus c equals 2. C equals 3. Boom. Check. And now I always go back to the original equations. I need to find a, and I try to find the one with the most positives in it. And this has just got a plain old a in it, so we'll just use that one. And I forgot what it is. So it's a minus 4b. I should remember that minus 4b because I forgot to take care of it. Plus 3c equals 9. All right, so let's plug these in. A minus 4 times negative 1 plus 3 times 3 equals 9. So this is positive 4. And this is positive 9. So that's 13. So a plus 13 equals 9. Subtract 13, I get a equals negative 4. And I'm hoping I did not make a mistake. There it is. There's your answers. Boom. Box them in and be nice and neat about it. Not like I was right there. All right. Let's see if I can get through one of these without making a mistake. So let's go get our answers first. Let's get our answers first. I just like starting with a fresh screen. Makes me happy. So menu, algebra, solve a system of equations, solve a system of linear equations. 2 equations. And again, we're using different letters, so I'm going to do M, comma, N, comma, P. And click OK. It just makes when you put the equations in a lot easier. M plus N minus P equals 4. Negative. Be careful with the negative. You got to use that negative. 5M minus 2N minus 3P equals 11. And then 2M plus N plus 2P equals, and hopefully I'm crossing my fingers I typed this in right. Now, typed it in right. If I typed that in wrong and you were following along, you're like, oh no, you made a mistake. Oh, good. I'm always happy when those numbers turn out right. They're usually right. So M, let's go here. We got, and you can write over here answers. Or answer. M equals, N equals, and P equals. And what do we got? Negative 3, 5, and negative 2. Negative 3, 5, and negative 2. Box them in. When you're done, there's your answers. Okay, let's get working. So now we got to look at M, N, and P and see which one looks like it might be easy to get rid of. And I'm thinking it's probably right here. It's these N's. These look like they're pretty easy to get rid of. For example, if I was to put the first 2 together and multiply the first equation by 2, the N's would go. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully I do it correctly. So 2M. See, I'm going to do this in colors too, and I think I'm going to make that a little bit easier. Minus 2P equals 8. And then the next equation I'm just going to write down. Minus 5M minus 2N minus 3P equals 11. And then we'll just add these up. Negative 3M. These go. Minus 5P equals 19. Numbers like 19 always scare me because they're prime. All right. Let's try this again. Just got some spam. Says my payment's been declined. They're trying to get my payment information. All right, we're going to multiply this one by 2 as well, because if I have a 2 here, again, these N's will go. So that's okay. So minus 5m minus 2n minus 3p equals 11. Jam that stupid thing in there. And we're going to multiply everything through by 2. So I get 4m plus 2n plus 4p. Well, this looks like it's going to turn out to be nice. Equals negative 10. Oh, this is going to be really nice. Wait till you see this one. All right, so these go. And I get negative m minus p equals 1. Oh, that's a simple equation to work with. Now we're going to work with these two. Now it's simple because, well, kind of simple. I'm going to take this one and multiply it by negative 3. Now why? Because negative 3 times negative m is positive 3m, which will get rid of this 3m over here. So I'm going to copy down the pink one. Negative 3m minus 5p equals 19. And then I'm going to work with the blue one. Positive 3m, positive 3p equals negative 3. Notice I just multiplied this by negative 3, this by negative 3, and this by negative 3. All right. Hopefully I did not make a mistake. If I did, I might reshoot this whole video and pretend like this never happened. You know what? It's okay to make mistakes as long as you figure out you did. So this is negative 2p equals 16. I made another mistake. P equals negative 8. Oh my goodness. What is going on? And you see how nice that worked out? But that's not what we got P to be. We got P to be negative 2. So where in the world is Carmen Santiago? Oh my God. I'm going to pause this and try to find my mistake. Did you guys find it? I found it. Just found it. Took me a second. I don't know if you watched my time. The time's only been gone for like 30 seconds. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to leave this up because this is just a perfect example of why kids get frustrated. But how you got to realize, okay, if you pay attention to details, which clearly I didn't, I can tell you why I'm frustrated, but you'll have to ask me in class because I'm really aggravated with a local business right now. Really aggravated. So I'm thinking that's what's causing my brain not to function properly. I don't know what was wrong with my first one. Anybody find it? It's right here. Now, if you were going along and you were screaming at the top of your lungs, no, Mr. Krause, you made a mistake. You're the smart person. I am not. So what's the problem is negative 3 plus 4 is positive P. And so because that's positive, negative 3 times P is negative 3P. And then those two put together make negative 8p. And then when I divide both sides by negative 8, I get negative 2. Now I'm hoping that's correct. Yes. So we're good there. Now, kids, I can't stress this enough. Do you notice how that turned out to be a negative 8? That's why one of the other reasons why I want to keep it. It turned out to be a negative 8. If you didn't have the answers to start with and you got that negative 8, you might be pretty excited. But it would be wrong. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that P and we're going to put it back into this crazy equation over here that I'm going to try to get rid of all this crazy stuff for. So that equation is negative m plus P equals 1. And we're going to dump that P in there and hopefully we get the correct m. So negative m minus 2 equals 1. Add 2 to both sides. I get negative m equals negative 3, positive 3. And so therefore m equals negative 3. Now I hope that's right. And I'm having a bad day today. Yay! 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 It's always exciting when it's right. And then we go back up and try to find the easiest equation to deal with. And I think most of us would agree that's probably the easiest one right there to deal with. You got to be careful of that double negative though. So we got m. I'm going to put it down here. We do it in purple. Maybe I won't make a mistake. M plus P. I already made a mistake. M plus n minus P equals 4. So m is negative 3 plus n minus negative 2, really, because that's a plus 2, equals 4. Just be careful. So this is negative 3 plus n plus 2 equals 4. These two put together make -1, so n minus 1 equals 4. Add 1 to both sides, and I get n equal to 5. And if I make any more mistakes, that's it. Problem's over. All right, cool. All right, we're good. And we got all 3 of them done. And we're finished with the problem because you have the answer boxed in there, and there you go. I can tell you started with the answers because it's way up here at the top, and I'm really happy for you. I hope that's it. We got any more? All right, you guys got a bunch. You got a bunch for homework, and good luck with that. Pay attention to the signs, pay attention to the details, and hit the subscribe button at the bottom. Catch you guys on the flip side. Bye. No, really, goodbye. No, I'm leaving. Bye.